Join me right now on Kumite TV is newly signed UFC heavyweight Justin Tafa. What's going on, Justin?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling out at Pokeball here in Phuket. Just in camp, man.
Nice, nice. I heard, there was a lot of interest, man, in you from a number of major promotions. Why did you decide to go with the UFC?
Yeah, there was. I did have a few options, and I was like, man, financially it was a bit better, but it's fighting for the pinnacle. Right now, UFC is the number one organization, and that's who I want to fight. I want to fight for. So I'll take the cut now, and we'll pay dividends, bro.
So you're looking at it in the long run, right?
Yeah, definitely in the long run. I could for another organization, but if the end goal is the UFC, why not just make it happen now?
No doubt, no doubt. Now let's go back to your career in Australia. You became the XFC heavyweight champion. The last time we spoke, it was before you took the title. What did you learn throughout those 3 fights with the organization?
I don't know, Like, I think it's just more. You learn a lot in camp, and then it's just like evidence when it comes to the cage. Like you're like, oh damn, this is why we train. So a lot of the stuff I learned through the camps, and then my fights haven't been too long, so a lot of it's just got to do with just trusting the process, I think.
When you fight, you have a big crowd there with you. It's pretty
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
the amount of
yeah, man.
fans you have that come and show their support. How big is that for you
Yeah,
when you're coming up in this sport?
man. It's there's nothing like it, it's that little edge that you have over other people, man. It's you could be in some deep waters, and when you have with your family or your friends or fans screaming, and it's that little edge, man. It can spark the flame again, and that's when that heart comes back out and that spirit comes out, bro. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, you fought at Mansfield Tavern. It's a small, tight little spot. If someone says something across the room, you could hear them whatever they're saying, right? But now you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
head to Marvel Stadium. That seats like 50,000. What are you going to miss about that small area, that Mansfield Tavern? What are you gonna miss about that place?
And the biggest thing is that like I was so intimate, like you just said, like you can see your friends, you can see your family there, you can see them screaming. I know once it comes to Marvel Stadium, it's going to be a bit hard seeing my family and all that, but I know they'll be screaming somewhere.
All right, now let's talk about your debut, man. It's about a month away. UFC 243. You're taking on Jorgen De Castro. Did you get to watch his fight on the Contender Series earlier this year?
I did. Like originally I was shooting for a spot in the Contender Series, and then I started to follow it. I saw the first week, and I saw his fight. I was really impressed by how he handled the wrestler.
What else did you think about his performance? Did you know? Did you think that you were gonna fight him?
No, no. I was like, yeah, man, this guy, like, was pretty impressive the way he won. And then it's funny, I was laughing. I was like, they gave me the fight, and I was like, oh shit, is that the guy from the first week? I didn't even know his name. Oh, yeah. It's funny how things work.
Training camp. You said that you are in Phuket. Seems like you're working mostly at Tiger Muay Thai. Talk about
Yeah.
the schedule you have for this camp.
Yeah, man, it's been a pretty busy schedule, like at least twice a day. I rest on Sundays, obviously, and a lot of wrestling, a lot of everything. It's just been obviously it's my debut, so I wanna put on for my people and my family and my mates. So I've been doing as much work as I can with the Hickman Bros, Glenn and Woody. There's a good team here out at Tiger. So yeah, I've been just working my ass off, man.
Before going into the training camp, what did you feel like you need to sharpen up more than other parts of your game?
I think it was more just the overall game. Like I was doing like wrestling, I was doing jiu-jitsu, I was doing striking, but it's very hard in Brisbane to find specialist places that also have like big guys to do the whole complete MMA. You know, like I might have some good guys that are good at jiu-jitsu that are big, and then some good guys that are good at striking, and I could only transition from one to the other. You know, like over here it's been good. It's been some good bodies here that are complete MMA fighters, and I don't have to just strike with one person and then go into jiu-jitsu work with another guy. It's been like live, you know, we've been going live properly. So just in general, the whole MMA as a whole complete sport, being able to actually do it all at once.
You mentioned Glenn Sparv earlier as one of the guys you're working with. You know, I think I saw your brothers down there with you. Who else have you been
Yeah,
working with?
yeah. So Glenn, man, I don't know how that guy's not signed. But, my little brother's here. I have Khalil Roundtree. He's been here. Obviously, Frankie and George Hickman. Um, and yeah, a few other heavy guys. A couple world Muay Thai champs. So no, it's been pretty good, man.
A lot of big bodies, right? Like a lot of, you never know who's going to show up on the mats, though.
Yeah,
So it's kind of fun, right, for you.
yeah, it's good. It's good. That's like the beauty of Tiger as well, man. You could be sparring like a whole different group every sparring session, and from all parts of the world, all different kind of styles, man. It keeps you on your feet, definitely.
Has there been any changes, you know, like little tweaks to the camp as you went along? You know, did you feel like, okay, I need to change my strength and conditioning, or I need to change my ground, you know, focus on this part of my wrestling? Is there any changes lately?
Well, I've actually like this has been the first time I've had strength and conditioning, like so. This is going to be like the biggest difference. Like before, obviously I worked and whatnot, and I didn't have enough time to devote to conditioning. So now it's been pretty good. I've had Andrew Woody here. He's been running me three or four times a week, man, and it's like made a massive difference. That's been probably the biggest difference between this camp and any other camp.
You've been a part of so many camps, you know, you've been in kind of like in the shadows, you can say, with like Mark Hunt and Tai Tuivasa, Tyson Pedro, just to name a few guys, right? Now
Yeah,
you're gonna make your debut. You're gonna be on the international stage. You know, when you see Mark, you know, throughout the years, he's the lead horse, like you guys like to call him. What have you taken from him that you implemented in your game?
man. The biggest thing is his mindset. Like no matter what, you know, like everyone faces adversity in camp. I used to always like just try to test him when we have breakfast. And I'd be like, "Hey, how you feeling today? What do you reckon you're knocking out?" You know, just to see, you know, pick his brain and see how his mind works. Man, that guy, he could have the worst day. He could have had the worst sparring. But if you ask him if he's going to win on the weekend, he's like, "I'm going to knock this guy out." You know, like there's no hesitation. And that was the biggest mentality that that's the biggest thing I took from him, man. I was like, damn, you know, this guy in his heart, he's wholeheartedly like thinking I'm going to win. So if that's got him to 20 years of pro fighting on top, I think that's what I need to take him. And I've been blessed to be in a lot of camps with him over the last few years and been able to like take that kind of mentality, man.
Has there been any like one piece of advice he has given you and you've like taken it with you and like you're gonna use it for the rest of your career?
I think it's like he's always been like, man, don't stress too much over it there. Like either way, man, you're gonna win or you lose. You know, like don't get too worked up. But the biggest thing I've taken off him is like if you go out, bro, go out on your shield, man. You know, like if you go out on your shield, and I think it means just like fuck. If you need to throw down, man, or you know, they just fold. You know, bite down on your mouth guard, man, and swing for the fences. I think.
Well, that's what, you know, makes everybody love Mark and, you know, and Ty and a lot of the guys that come through your camp, you know. And the great thing about it is Like you guys are all very young compared to Mark. Mark is, old school.
He's
You
old
guys are
dude.
the new
Yeah.
school, and and you guys are. It's crazy that the age that you guys are at, and you guys have someone like that to help you guys through your career. Now, the main event, UFC 243, Robert Whittaker versus Israel Adesanya. Now, what are your thoughts on this fight, man? Who do you think's gonna win? How do you think it's gonna go down?
Ooh, man. Like obviously, I'm a big fan of both of them, and they both do well to represent, New Zealand, and obviously Rob representing Australia as well. But man, I have to go with my boy Izzy on this one. Here, like he's like he's lived the life I've lived. Like in New Zealand. Like he knows what the corner store means. He knows what like he's lived the Kiwi life, man. So I have to back Izzy, and he's a good dude as well. Um, I just, for me, I think the time off may play a big factor. Like as much as people say, man, like Izzy's been very active. Like he's been very comfortable in that octagon, and I think the ring rust might be the difference, man. And a lot of people don't. I don't know. They don't think Izzy's as tough as what he put on, man. Like man, that last fight, for him to come out in that fifth round that way, it's crazy. People should have just respected him on that, man, and been like, damn, that's a bad man.
No doubt, man. Well, October 5th, man, you make that walk before they make their walk. UFC 243. I'm excited for you, Justin,
Yeah,
because I talked to you before you even won the title, and it's good to
yeah,
see
man.
that you have some good fortune with you, and hopefully you have this long career with the UFC, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. I'll be looking for that 50K bonus, bro, on my debut.